Hi, I'm Marcus Blake with That Nerd Show here at the 2018 Dallas International Film Festival, and we're speaking with Anthony Pedone with the film An American in Texas. And just by that title, I think Texans are already like, what are you saying about Texas? So we got to dive in a little bit about the story. Tell us about the film.
The story is based loosely on about a dozen of my friends and kind of condensed into 4 characters, but it's set in 1990. The kids are in a punk rock band and they're growing up in this small town, and they want to escape. They want to get out and avoid the trappings of their small town, of like working in one of the chemical plants that are down there, or going to war. It's set in 1990, so it's right at when the first Gulf War was ramping up. A lot of the New World Order speeches, and it's just a story about the reactionary behavior to the war ramping up, and just trying to get out of their small town and play music.
Now the title. There's got to be a meaning behind the title, or is that kind of ambiguous for the audience to decide?
We get the question all the time. It is kind of ambiguous. I hate trying to explain it. For me personally, the title is it's kind of a play on we're Texans first and Americans second, but also we're being told to be patriots and be good Americans all the time, and we were just at that time we were just growing up in Texas, and we felt like strangers in a strange land. We felt like outsiders in our own country. We didn't really identify with a lot of the stuff we were being told, or a lot of what we were seeing on the news about the war. We just felt like we were going for all the wrong reasons, and we felt kind of alienated. Right. So.
Well, I think that's the great irony about Texas. And I wasn't born in this state either. I'm originally from Chicago, so I'm always going to be that damn Yankee. So I mean, and I've lived in Texas more than I lived in there. So
Texans will always remind you that you are not
exactly. So there is that kind of, we are Texas, we're all unto ourselves, and then there's Americans. And you're right. So there's kind of an alienation that goes there unless you were born here and have multiple generations here in this state.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the punk rock scene being thrown into the mix of it, especially at that time where you're still dealing with very conservative attitudes and stuff. Now, I gotta ask. I mean, are you a former punk rocker yourself, or is it just a story?
I at that time I was playing in a thrash metal band called Acridity, but there was another band in town they were really good friends of ours. They were a band called SGW, and so I wanted to kind of just honor them as part of this, and they were a punk rock band. The music for the boys band in the film is actually played by the Circle Jerks rhythm section.
Okay, interesting.
And the music comes from a demo that was written and recorded by Xander Schloss, the bass player, and Greg and Kevin played drums and guitar on it. And that album never happened, and I had heard that the record or the demo was out there, and so I got a way to contact him and asked him if we could license those songs for the film, because it was really important for us to have music that was indicative of the time and like that really had that true punk hardcore sound, and so we were super fortunate to get that music.
Now the film is a bit of a coming of age story as well.
Sure.
But do you feel like the message is really about these kids kind of developing their own identity, that we are Texans too, we're just not your idea of it?
I think, the kids, it is about the kids, and what it's about is, I just think, when you're young and you're trying to, find yourself and find your way, and you are surrounded by people who don't, South Texas is a very conservative place, man, and
yeah.
And there was a lot of people that were very supportive of the war there, and we weren't feeling that, and a lot of the stuff that was used, like the Naira story, to sway public opinion, to make us really talk about it and head over there, was this story of Naira and the story of Saddam's guard coming and throwing these babies from incubators into the street and killing them, and years later that was brought up in front of Congress, and it was proved completely false.
Right. Do you feel it's important to kind of have an anti-establishment message a little bit, to at least, if nothing else, to make us look at the opposing sides, to question everything before you make an informed decision?
You just nailed it right there. Question everything, man.
Yeah.
Question what they tell you about God and country.
Interesting. And we just lost half our Texas audience, but you know what? We're okay with that. So All right, we got one really great nerdy question for you. We ask all of our filmmakers. All right, if you could have a superpower or some other kind of weapon of choice from the nerd universe, like a phaser, Thor's hammer, whatever, to fight the forces of evil, what would it be for you?
I would want to be able to. I'd like X-ray vision, man. I'd like to be able to see through walls.
Nice. And perform X-rays on your friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just open my own X-ray place.
That's a great answer too. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with the film. I can't wait to see it.